Great things, great things, great things. Welcome in to Words on a Higher Note, our space to reflect, reset, rise, and remember who we really are beneath the layers. I'm your host, Jaylyn, and I'm glad you're here. Before we begin, a quick reminder. This isn't therapy or medical advice. It's a moment to pause and reconnect with yourself. If you are ever in need of support, please reach out to someone you trust. This reflection is titled, When Words Rest and Listening Leads. There's a moment when expression meets resistance and something within us says, maybe this isn't the time. And maybe that shift doesn't happen in some big dramatic way. Maybe it happens in the most ordinary moments. I have a friend, a close friend, who holds their perspectives with real conviction, like stone that offers strength and structure, steady and sure, not easily moved. When we talk, it sometimes feels like we're working on the same puzzle, but with completely different pieces. We're both so sure our way will reveal the answer. When someone with firm ideas meets someone more flexible, something interesting happens. Sometimes words land exactly where they need to. Other times, they need to bend and find different paths. The energy we bring shapes what our words can actually do. And that makes us ask, is this the moment to share what I know? Or is this the moment to pause? Sometimes we're not meant to change someone's mind. Sometimes we're just meant to let different ways of thinking coexist. This took me some time to learn. There was a period when I really wanted people to see things the way I did. I thought if I could just find the right words, they'll understand. But life teaches you differently. Not every conversation is about changing minds. Some conversations plant seeds, others create understanding, and some just honor where someone is right now. Life teaches you to notice when someone's ready for new ideas and when they need space to figure things out. Life teaches you that keeping the relationship strong sometimes matters more than being right. Connection grows when we care more about understanding than about convincing. Life teaches you that convincing isn't always the goal. Sometimes it's about patience and knowing when to speak and when to let quiet do the work. And when you understand this, you get to choose. You can read the moment. You can respect the timing. You can pick the right approach. Not because you have stopped caring, but because you've learned what actually works. Little did I know, the same lesson would show up again, this time at home. I was outside with my husband. He was doing what he always loves to do, making our yard beautiful. He sees things artistically, thinking about what looks good together. I love that about our space too. But I think about what we can eat, what will nourish us. Most days, these different ways work together perfectly. Sometimes they create interesting conversations. That particular day, I saw he had moved one of our fruit plants. He split it into two pots and put them where they'd get more sun. It looked really nice. I could see his reasoning. More light means healthier growth, but I noticed something else. The distance between them. The space that might make it hard for them to pollinate each other. They needed each other to make fruit. I asked him gently if he could move them closer. I started explaining how these plants need each other. But before I finished, he responded with certainty. He thought they were better where he'd put them. Maybe he was thinking about things I hadn't considered. Maybe the light really was the most important thing right then. Or maybe he just didn't realize there was more to what I was asking. I stopped. Let the moment just be what it was. Something shifted. Not dramatically, just quietly. I realized that explaining more right then wasn't what was needed. What do you do when you're trying to share something, but it feels like you're speaking different languages? When you're both caring about the same thing, but seeing it so differently? It can feel delicate, like you have something important to say, but it's not quite landing. It can feel like the moment is asking for something other than words. Right then, you can choose peace. You can choose to step back. You can choose stillness. Not because anyone's wrong, not because you weren't heard, but because sometimes you're both solving the same problem in your own ways. And maybe that's enough for now. You can choose to save the energy you have. Hold on to it gently. Use it where it will bring you closer instead of further apart. But then, as I thought about it later, another layer appeared. What if stepping back meant missing a chance for real understanding? In both situations, what if there was more happening beneath the surface? Maybe my friend's certainty came from experience I didn't know about. Maybe my husband was considering things I hadn't thought of. Maybe we were both trying to solve things from what we knew best, and that was actually okay. What if we could have found some middle ground if I'd stayed curious instead of pulling back? The question lingers. Maybe my quiet was wise, and maybe it was also an invitation to stay curious in ways I'll notice next time. This isn't about judging what happened. It's about staying curious, about staying open to what can happen when different perspectives meet. When we stop explaining, what shows up instead? When words need to take a different path, what kind of bridge forms? When we step back, how do we honor what the moment is asking for? Sometimes, explaining isn't about proving you're right. It's about sharing what you see. Sometimes being quiet isn't giving up, it's making space. But that space can have purpose if we stay open to what might emerge from it. Maybe we don't always need to explain more or explain less. Maybe we just need to notice the moment. Feel it for what it's asking for. And stay open to understanding happening in ways we didn't expect. This is about learning to read those moments between speaking and listening and staying open to what might be waiting to emerge. Before we close, I invite you to take this moment further. If this reflection awakens something in you, a thought, a feeling, a moment of clarity, share the reflection with others. Thank you for tuning in to Words on a Higher Note, where reflection meets elevation, where grace meets growth, where personal evolution is not rushed, but embraced, honored, and celebrated. Until next time, keep listening for the higher note. Say, be, and it is.